What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue Radio, NGR Radio for short. This is episode 9 squared. For all you math people out there, 81. Yeah, it's episode 81. I'm Matthew Keel. Alongside me, as always, Corey Dierig. How are you, sir?
Great. Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, is guaranteed not to suck as bad as Shaq Fu 94.
Yeah, and the Browns are going to win 4 games next season.
Hey,
Moose!
Hey, Mike.
Moose, how are you, sir?
I am awesome. Doing well. Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Very happy about
He's
that.
not a Browns fan right now.
Yeah, I'm just happy as a Browns fan. So just
Me too, I'm a Bears fan.
days going well. Life's getting better. Everything's on the up and up.
Life is getting better, everybody.
Yeah.
It's getting better all the time.
That's right.
All the time.
Actually, no, it's a Beatles song and you're not even close, but okay.
Oh. I love you, yeah.
No, that's She Loves You.
Whatever.
Oh, God.
I'm the music man. That's what they call
Listen,
me.
Mom and Daddy, could you stop fighting?
No. Eat your green beans.
No, son, this is your fault. You're the only thing we agree on. You suck. No.
Finish your dinner and go do your homework.
Experiment.
Okay, I have to talk about this beer that I just drank. I bought it. I just tried it for the first time. I bought it because it's named after my favorite solo Wu-Tang album, Liquid Swords by the GZA. And this is an amazing India Pale Ale. Well, actually, it's a double IPA, and I'm going to take a picture of it with Moose's face in the middle. There.
Nice.
Okay, great. That'll be on Instagram later, I hope.
Sweet. Cheers.
It's a double IPA. It is 9.6% alcohol, smooth as goddamn silk, and very citrusy. Nice little hop rush at the end. If you have access to Round Guys Brewery out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, you should.
Well, I know where Lansdale is.
Me too. It's actually right up the road. I'm going to go get some more.
There you go.
All right, so you guys playing anything?
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Okay, since you have Moose, you first, since Corey has lots.
Jesus. Okay.
I don't really have lots. That was a lie.
I finally was able to sneak up behind The Last of Us and put it down. Put a bullet through it. So Last of Us is done and deleted and gone.
Now, do you really hate that game?
I'm not.
Like, can I ask you a question? If you had gone to it naturally without this stupid challenge that you guys are doing,
I've tried to do that before.
Okay.
Like, I've tried, like, ever since I bought a PS4 like the year after launch, and when I bought it, they were doing the holiday bundle where you got a physical copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 and you got a digital copy of The Last of Us. So I was like, cool, I'll play The Last of Us. I tried it a couple of times, just, hopefully they clean up some of their mechanics in the sequel. I feel like it was limited by the system. It's not necessarily the game. Like, a lot of the times, like, you'll be sneaking and you'll be able to sneak by something, but then, like, in the next instance, it's the same scenario, but then the game, like, catches you or something like that. I feel like it's a little inconsistent with, like, noises and stuff like that as far as, like, the enemy finding you. I'm like, well, how did the enemy find me? Like, that's fucking ridiculous. So it just gets annoying sometimes. But anyways, the story is really, really great. I highly recommend playing through. The ending was crazy. Still digesting it. Still, going over it in my head and what would I have done, like, understanding, the mentality, that one of the main characters had and doing what they did. And so it was good to end it. Like, I think I ended it like Saturday or Sunday or something. Like, I beat it one of the, this weekend. And then, so I have my 4 in February, which are going to be Shadow Warrior. Like, I posted, for the listeners, I originally posted 4 games, And then Matt posted, he was like, "Aren't you supposed to start them in February?" Which is a good point. I was at first.
I actually wasn't trying to troll you there.
No, I know you weren't.
Like I really wasn't.
I know you weren't, but I was like, I do what I want, and then I'm like, actually, you know what? Like that's not like everybody else does that, and I kind of like look at people when they're like, I'm going to start this game, and it's like, well, you're 3/4 of the way through the game. Like that's not really a challenge. So I repicked 4 other games, and I picked 4 games off of my challenge list for the Nerds Gone Platinum 2018 challenge. So I picked The Order, I picked Shadow Warrior, I picked Beyond Two Souls, and then Killzone Shadowfall is the 4th one. So I mean, they're not all like crazy hard or crazy long games. They're just games that I have not like turned on and played any of.
Okay.
So I was like, that'll be cool. And plus, they're kind of quicker, so it'll be nice to get like hopefully get out of the way in February. And then I'll be like 5 games in, you know, when March starts, you know, I'll be like, you know, a quarter of the way to my 20. But been playing a little bit of Shadow Warrior, which is fun. The controls can get crazy because it's got like combos and stuff. So you gotta like hit right twice on the left stick and then hold R2 and you'll heal. And you're just like, okay, that's all right, that's weird. So it's kind of got like almost like fighter combos to it or whatever. But been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild. I'm working on getting the Barbaric set right now, so I'm working like they've got like to get into the shrines, they've got like trials, so I'm trying to do those right now. And I'm going to work more shrines to get more hearts. So and then I have 1 Divine Beast. So I got the Hylian Shield, got the Master Sword. So now it's just like working through to try and upgrade my armor and then take down that last Divine Beast and then be able to take on Ganon and hopefully finish that game. And then I'll probably put that down for a while, you know, because I have the games I have to play for the 2018 challenge, and then you know, come back to it maybe next year or maybe later in the year. Because I mean, I do play it at work. Because I mean, I can take my Switch with me to work, and so I'll just sit there and I'll do whatever. Like I'll do a shrine or 2. Like I'll try and and then I'll just be like, okay, it's time to quit, or I'll do whatever I need to do to kind of get like busy stuff out of the way while I'm sitting there hanging out. But so I don't know if we've talked about Celeste last time, but I bought Celeste on PS4. I'm playing that. If you like Super Meat Boy, you've got to get that game. It is on Switch as well, which I think I will probably double dip, and later on, like when it first goes on sale, I'll probably pick it up on Switch just to have it on the go as well. But that game is a phenomenal platformer. Played a little bit of Iconoclasts, which I think I mentioned last time, and that's pretty cool. That game's a lot of fun.
That game, I mean, I know you knew about that last year, but like, I didn't. For some reason, I completely didn't acknowledge it when you originally brought it up, because I think you said you brought it up in our chat. Mm-hmm. And then I saw this, and I'm like, what the hell? And
yeah,
it looks really freaking cool. I mean, I haven't played it, but I will.
I watched the Giant Bomb quick look of Iconoclast. Like, I want that game so bad. Like, yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I have no doubt it'll probably come out to Switch like later on, but I'm sure it's going to be on PS. I think it's PS4 and PC currently. Yeah, right now for a while, but I'm sure it'll come to PS4. And then, like, I was looking today, I was looking at the drop. And they've got like a lot of really cool indie games coming to PS4.
Holy shit, they do!
Yeah, but they're also coming to Switch. And then one of them is, if you've got a Switch, you've got to play it. Mercenary Kings is a
yes,
awesome game. And just for the people that know, if you already own it on PS4, I think it's only PS4 and PC. I don't think it's on Xbox, but if you own it on PS4, there's going to be like the update, because it's like a collection.
They're doing an addition.
Yeah, but they're going to add like 2 new characters, some new weapons, all kinds of stuff. That update is free for people who already own the game. So like I own it on PS4, and I think it was free with PlayStation Plus for a while when the PS4 came out at first. So like if you own it, you get that update for free, so you get 2 new characters to play with and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of looking forward to jump back into it, but then I'm also happy because it's another indie game that's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. When I run out of things to play, I could just pick it up on Switch and just have it on the go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they had some other really what is it? Aegis Defenders just like a tower defense game. Like that game looks freaking awesome too. That's on PS4. But it's also coming to Switch as well.
Yep, and Shovel Knight's in that game.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, holy crap. And then what is the other one? The Daria, I think it is.
Dandaria. We're talking about the platformer with the black girl, right?
Yeah. It's like I think it was a Brazilian warrior from like 16th century. I was like reading up on it. Like I Googled the name and it went to like a wiki page, but it looks really cool. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like that'll be a cool game.
There's also a game that's kind of like the games that you just mentioned called Super One More Jump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You brought that up to us before.
Yeah.
I think you brought it up to us off air, but like that, that game is a Matt jam for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that game looks really cool too.
I have to check it out. But
you're basically just this little square and you're kind of like weaving through this level and like you really just all you're doing is jumping, but you need to make the jump basically.
Yeah.
It's really cool looking. So
nice. I look forward to that. But anyway, they got some good games coming out. So like I said, I finally put Last of Us to bed, so I don't have to worry about playing that anymore. So and then Breath of the Wild, just playing on that. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Corey, Matt, what have you been playing? Since Corey's got a lot he's been playing, so we can go over your list before we go.
Well, I haven't really been playing a ton. I keep meaning to start Monster Hunter World, but I haven't done it.
Me too.
But I keep going back to Neo, man. And the last time,
there ain't no shame in that.
The last time we talked, I had beaten basically the ice version of Sister Frieda from Dark Souls. I beat this week. I beat one of the coolest boss fights I think I've ever beaten. I think this boss is fucking amazing, and I actually remember its name. Its name, Giant Toad.
Yeah, I haven't got to him yet, but I hear the Giant Toad.
Like this boss, like in terms of everything that like I know about, third person combat and like my experience with the Souls series and Bloodborne, like this boss has it all. It has range. It's a melee powerhouse, and the best part. Now, if you're not familiar with Neo, there are these clouds that happen that sort of they hinder your ki regeneration. It's called yokai. This boss, Giant Toad, will just stop in the middle of a fight, puff up a pipe, and just blow clouds of yokai mist everywhere to just stop you from being able to regenerate your stamina. Like he almost has an answer for everything you have. The reason I say almost is because I actually beat him. But that is like that is what that I mean. I feel like I got lucky, mainly because it took me like 3 tries. But I've heard from other places that he's actually one of the harder bosses in the game. And I think Bagel is about to lose it because Reba's home. Will you excuse me, gentlemen? Corey, what are you playing? We'll come back to me.
Yeah.
I've been playing Celeste a lot. I can't put that game down. It's really cool. I like the art direction. I like how hard it is, but at the same time, I like that the game encourages you to keep going.
Yeah,
like literally when you die, there's a message that pops up that says the more you die, the better you're getting. And that's really cool. That's a really cool touch to a game that's ridiculously hard. And I don't know, man, there's something about Celeste that just like I just want to keep playing it and get through it. Super Meat Boy, I'm still playing a lot. I downloaded Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
I was gonna play it last night because we recorded a bunch of stuff last night for Arsenal X, and I was like, okay, I've got a couple hours. I'm gonna dive into Monster Hunter and see if I can kind of get the feel for it. And I was like, I'm gonna give myself 3 hours to make a character, get into this world, and kind of roam the world and see.
Just kind of hang out, check it out. Yeah.
Yep. 2.5 hours later, I'm just getting through the character creator.
Jesus, I see. I'm way faster than that. I'm like, I don't care. Just give me a general. Give me a pre-made, and I might alter it a little bit, and then I go. You know what I mean?
I want to see what all the sliders do. I want to see all the options. I want to see all the This is like this, and this and Mass Effect Andromeda have the two best character creators I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
I love it. I want to just download it and be like, I want them to make an RPG where I can create the whole party and just let me make a character creator like this. That's what I want.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best. If you're really into deep diving in character creators, this is probably one of the best ones I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
So yeah, and I walked around the world for like a half hour. I'm like, look, I gotta work in the morning. I'm going to bed. This was at like 1 o'clock. So then I was playing some N++. I'm trying to get through they had a new patch I don't know, probably like 2 or 3 months ago, the Legacy pack where they added all the levels from N+. And so I've been working my way through that. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to play this while I'm playing Celeste and Super Meat Boy at the same time? So that's kind of all I've been playing. I've played a lot of NBA 2K18. For some reason, I really wanted a sports game to play, and I had NBA 2K, and I played it when it came out, probably for like a month straight. And then I put it down, and I was like, well, Madden's on sale. Do I want to buy that? No, not really. I have FIFA. But I don't want to play soccer right now. And I was like, okay, cool. NBA 2K. And I made my own team, have some cool jerseys.
Nice.
What's
your team name?
The Rubber City Pride.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because Akron is the Rubber City.
Nice.
Rubber City Duckies.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do the Rubber City Ducks, but the Rubber Duck logo looks like garbage. So I had to pick something else.
Forget that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget that.
No, dude, they have a Rubber Duck logo, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to use that logo, and it's going to look sweet. There's no way. There's no possible way to make that look cool. So I used a wheel with a flame on it.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
So I've been playing a lot of that. But my jerseys are cool looking. That's really the only thing I really care about. So
yeah.
It's all about style in basketball, It's not about points or players. No. It's about style.
There's no points for second place.
Right?
Yeah. You know who doesn't need wins, apparently? The Cavs.
Yeah. How many have they lost now?
They've lost 8 of their last 12. And they lost by 40 points to the Rockets the other night.
Well, the Rockets are a pretty good team.
I know, but 40 points to the team that went to the finals last year?
Well,
yeah, I'm just saying the Cavs should not be losing by 40 points. It wasn't 40 points. It was 28 points, but still.
But yeah, no, they should be putting up more of a fight than they are. But they also have, a couple players out.
Yeah. Yep. Kevin Love broke his hand.
Like Kevin Love and his job security injury.
Yeah. Great deadline's coming up. Time to get injured. Can't pass physical. Time to get injured. Man. But apparently they offered a trade for DeAndre Jordan today. 3 players and a draft pick and cash, and they didn't take it. So guess that hopes and dreams of Cleveland were resting on DeAndre Jordan, and it's not happening. So sorry, Cleveland. I don't really think we need him because he's just a bigger, beefier Tristan Thompson. And I'm like, we're paying less for Tristan Thompson. I don't care if he's dating Khloe Kardashian and wants to go to LA. I don't care. It's not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do your job, dude.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, man, Cavs are kind of looking sad right now. But it's okay. This is just their valley before they start making their rise during the playoffs. They want to peak at the right time, and you want to peak during playoff time.
Well, I think you actually want to peak at finals time if you can make it there.
my point is, I'd rather them suck 30 games out.
Yeah, you'd rather them suck just
out.
post All-Star break rather than when it comes down to getting a spot.
Yeah. So, I want to be playing the 76ers during the playoffs and not like the Raptors. Okay.
That's true. No, I'm with you there.
Like, throw that out there.
Like, I mean, I'm not despite living in Philadelphia, I'm not a Sixers fan. The only Philadelphia team I liked, it's the only Philadelphia team I liked before I moved here, and that's the Flyers. I grew up in a state with no professional sports, so I could just pick. And my basketball team was the Lakers because I'm a Magic Johnson fan.
I could just pick.
Yeah, just like I don't have any family like hierarchy.
You didn't pick the New Orleans Pelicans?
No.
Which they're actually really good this year.
They didn't exist.
True.
Hey, thanks to them changing their name to the stupid Pelicans, the Hornets were able to come back home to Charlotte.
Yeah.
So
True.
I know a lot of people were happy about that.
What an odd like chain of events that was. We're like the Hornets went to
it's like
New
the
Orleans.
Opening, it's like the opening Hornets.
They went to New Orleans, and then the Charlotte Bobcats they came and then they went, and then New Orleans changed their name to the Pelicans, and now the Hornets just exist.
Bobcats were like, we don't want our name anymore. We're going to change it back to the Hornets.
Yeah.
Like it's like the opening to basketball.
What was really cool though was
the Jazz moved from New Orleans to Utah where they don't allow music. and the Lakers moved to LA where there are no lakes.
I mean it's cool that like the New Orleans team was like, yeah, you can take the name back. Instead of making a stink about it. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all right. Now we just need a Seattle team to bring back the Supersonics.
Which that would be great. I always if I don't understand how. Well, I mean, of course, because I didn't pay attention to basketball, but I always liked when I was watching basketball in the '90s. I always liked watching the Supersonics play. I don't know if it was just the weird like shades of green and yellow that their uniforms were, or if it was Sean Kemp just being able to dunk on anybody, but he could absolutely not dunk on nobody in the dunk contest. Gary Payton was a good point guard, but like I miss the Supersonics. I wish they were still around. I also wish the Hartford Whalers were around because they were my first hockey team. And bring back the whale. I'm going to get back to what I've been playing. I'm going to finish my little Neo diatribe. I will say, if you are playing Neo and you're kind of getting to the point where you're like falling off, stick it out till you fight Giant Toad. That's a worthwhile boss fight. It might even bring you back in. I finally beat that red bastard that I had to fight. Beat him like he owed me money earlier today. Moose, you remember Onryoki in Neo? He's that boss you fight on the boat. Well, yeah. He shows up later on.
What?
A lot of bosses show up multiple times in that game. I've actually fought him 2 times since then. But he shows up in this mission called Greater Demon Hunting, and everything he hits you with is a one-shot.
Jesus.
I'm going to stop talking about Neo there, and I will bring it up when we get to our topic. The other game I've been spending a lot of time with is a game called Trap Adventure 2. I understand that face. It is a mobile game.
Okay.
It is a platformer on mobile. Now, immediately, you and I, Moose, because Corey has stepped away, we will think this idea is a bad idea. The reason I picked up Trap Adventure 2 is there was this meme going around of people said it was people said he was Mexican, but I don't know if he's Mexican. But it's a guy commentating on a video game that he's playing, and you just watch him die over and over and over again. And every time he dies, he's like, "No mames!" Anyway, so I found out what game that was, and I'm like, I should play that game. So I'm playing that game, and that game is, I think it's an interesting use of comedy in a video game more than anything else. Like it's difficult as fuck. Like I've gotten to the 5th actual, we'll call it level, but like each level is one screen.
Yeah.
And you basically have to maneuver through every way you think the developer is trying to mess with you. Okay. So like first screen, I will spoil it for you. And that's all I'm going to go. But the first screen you just walk through, okay? And then you see a pit of spikes with 3 platforms. So like 1, 2, 3, each of which it just shows you, it just basically gets you used to the jump, to like how high and how far you can jump. You jump to the first one, fine. Jump to the second one, fine. You jump to the third one, and spikes come out. So you're like, okay, so I can't jump to that one. So you jump over, and then if you jump too far, spikes. You have to land right on the edge.
Oof.
Now you have to land right on the edge. Spikes come up in front of you, but you're on that edge. That'll be like your one platform that you can stand on. If you turn, the edge falls away and you slide into the spikes.
Jesus.
So now and then but basically you land there, spikes come up, and you can basically jump to the edge of the screen, and you're safe. I'm not going to go any further because I feel like if I go any further, it'll help people get further than I am. I'm at the 5th screen, by the way, and I've died probably close to 100 times on this screen. But what I like about this is it's like some games just aim to be difficult. They're just like, what, this game's gonna be hard. That's it. End of report. And I feel like the easy way to look at this is like, oh, it's just difficult because everything is a goddamn trap. Well, no, I actually think that there's a joke there because I found myself laughing at my deaths 90% of the time. I feel like that use of comedy in a game is a way that like it's not been done to my knowledge. I mean, there have been times where I've been honored, like when I got the trophy in Super Meat Boy for beating the first world without dying. I'm along the way of doing that, I did some dumb things and died and just laughed because I'm like, oh, great, I'm at 17. I have to start all the way back over at 1 now.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a cool little platformer, and I'm going to try and keep playing it just to see where I can go. You can get it for free.
Yeah, I just got it on Android.
But if you get it for free, you only get 1 life. It's called Last Chance Mode, and to get an actual set of lives, it's 99 cents, and it's the only time you have to really pay for anything.
That's not bad.
It's not like it's just like it's a 99-cent game. Try it. And there have been some where I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to do this? I know there has to be a way. Right. So
you're like this. You have to be able to beat this. They're not going to create something that you can't beat.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I don't remember the guy's name that developed it. If you're looking at it right now, please tell me. But I feel like this guy has done something interesting in the platformer space that I don't think anybody is talking about. So if you have an iPhone or Android, it's a 99-cent buy-in. If you don't like it, fine. You're only at $1. it's actually it's I've had enough time. Like when I don't have time to pull out my Switch at work, I will actually pull that out, try a couple levels, and just restart it.
Yeah,
but it's actually a really tight platformer, and I want to get I say a few, but I would like to get probably 20 to 30 more screens in before I actually write a piece on it. I don't think I'll review it just because I don't want to review games. I don't want to think about games to that point. But I think there's an interesting point of view here.
Yeah.
And if it goes to where I think it's going, like with just expanding on the idea of just playing jokes on the player, I'm okay with it. And I really think it should be talked about. So if you get a chance, check out Trap Adventure 2. And I think if you get Trap Adventure 2, there's an alert that says, hey, this is the new one. We do have the old one as well if you want to play that one. So don't quote me on this, but I think you actually get 2 games for the price of 1.
Cool.
Which is saving money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody likes saving money.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's really what I've spent my time with this week.
Okay.
And I'm going to lead into a topic that Moose brought up. Did you bring it up in Nerds Gone Platinum or Nerds Gone Rogue?
Might have been Platinum.
He posted it in Nerds Gone Platinum
as Nerds Gone Rogue, and then I posted a picture.
That would have been funny.
I posted a picture of me with Bagel and my new record shelf, and Alan Hine is like, oh, so it's Matt that's using the Nerds Gone Rogue. No, all 3 of us do.
No, all 3 of us do. So I was like, we should probably have a conversation on how we're gonna handle that. But then it's just kind of like, and then it's like, fuck it. Just let everyone.
I feel like if we state something pointed, we should state who it is.
Yeah. But like posts that can be
or
general.
You can just use the little drop down menu and post it as yourself.
No, I like.
Shut up, Corey.
Listen, why are you gonna ruin all the fun, Dad?
Go to your room, Moose.
You do not punish him.
Football season's over. Your team already won the Super Bowl. They're 0-0, just like the Browns.
Oh, you only wish. But
I tried.
But yeah, you posted about AI, and I assume it was because of your trials and tribulations with The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But you were saying people are talking about graphics and powerhouses. I would rather you would rather 60 frames per second and good AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the wise way to go. I'm not going to lie to you, but I
will like to say, in the defense of the game that caused the topic and the issue, The Last of Us, it is a PlayStation 3 game remastered on PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like a whole lot of time was spent to revamp the AI, to redo some stuff. Like they made it look pretty. It runs, I think, solid 60 frames per second, even on a regular PS4.
Yeah.
Or no, it might be 60 frames, but not locked. Because I think there's an option where you can lock it at 30. It's straight up lock at 30. So
yeah.
I'm understanding of that, but it's kind of like, all right, we need to get to a point where it's just fucking stop with the stupid people helping you. You know what I mean? Because you get stuck in a room, and you're okay, now you got to defend the room or shoot the attackers. Well, they send more attackers at you because you have an extra person helping you, but that extra person doesn't do fucking shit. It's you have a gun. Why is a clicker even getting near you? Shoot the clicker in the head. You know what I mean? Right. I understand you're trying to keep bullets and stuff, but you're making me shoot them, which is using my ammo, and you have ammo. And it's just.
See, I'm actually glad we chose to address this because I didn't have any of those problems. So I'm not saying your frustration is unfounded.
Right. Right.
But I feel like it's when everybody comes out, when a Fallout game comes out or an Elder Scrolls game comes out, and they just want to point out all of the weird glitches that happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I feel
and people are like, "Oh, this game's bad because this happened to me." And I'm like, that didn't happen to me. I don't know.
Right, like I feel like Last of Us. It's just it's going like everybody likes it. Everybody's enjoying it, but I'm like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And I've tried I've tried enjoying it, tried playing it, I've actually beat it, but it's like, I mean, spoiler alert, there's a point where like you and David in the winter chapter get stuck. You know, you're like up a walkway in a room, and you're like fighting off the clickers and stuff like that, and he's like fucking completely and utterly useless. Okay, Skyrim, when you take they're like, oh, followers are great. You know what? I never took a follower. I took a follower one of the first times I played Skyrim, and he fucked up my sneaking in the dungeons, and I was like, that's it. Never, ever took a follower again. Ever.
Well, see, I liked how in Last of Us, at least with the Joel and Ellie stuff, like Ellie could run wherever she wanted, and she didn't mess up.
She would hide. I
will say this: you're right. David is useless as an AI. Like he was awful.
Now Ellie is a lot smarter, a lot better. You know,
I feel like they emphasized all of that on her.
Yeah, but like, and even like Skyrim, like I would even hate the missions where they would force you to take somebody with you. Like you'd have to escort someone, or they'd have to follow you, because like you get to a point and they'd see an enemy and they just go charging in like Leroy fucking Jenkins, and you're just like, God damn it. Like now like
it's like, I'm not playing with Matt. What the hell?
Yeah. It's like now the stealth is ruined, so I've been spotted, so now I don't have my sneak attack anymore. So it's just like, fucking son of a bitch, dude, you know? But I just think like I want smarter AI, or I want like I run into the problem with Wolfenstein 2, where it's kind of like I feel like it's, you know, they just beef up the health. The enemies take more health, you know, and they take more damage to kill, but they also have more health as well. So it's like
hit harder too.
And they hit harder, and you have to do more damage to kill them. So it's like, well, instead of doing that, how about like they actually use cover to their advantage? They actually flank you, like do a better job of trying to get behind you and disrupt you, and so that it's an actual like it's a more engaging shooter. You know what I mean? Instead of just like, let me throw bullets at this. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing boxes of bullets at these enemies instead of like actually trying to outsmart them and outmaneuver them. So I just, that was what the post brought up. It was just like, I just want, like, on the next console generation, I just want like better AI. I want a faster console or better processing and, you know, all that stuff, so that a better CPU, so that it can process that AI better, you know, so that we can have it in games, you know? So, and like I said, you know, in the Last of Us defense, you know, the story's fucking phenomenal. I just had issues with the gameplay, you know, just, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way, and it kept rubbing me the wrong way. And I just couldn't get past it. I mean, I got past it enough to beat the game, but I was thinking of going back and doing the DLC, but now, like, when I finally beat it, I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't even need to play that shit. Like, maybe I'll download it next year and play that again, because I'm sure the game isn't coming out till like next year or the year after, so I'll be able to download it and play the DLC before the sequel comes out. But I mean, I'll probably, like, I know Captain Canada replays it like once a year, I think, or something like that. Like he that's how much he loves that game, and I'm like, no. I'll probably never play that game ever again.
He plays Last of Us once a year?
I think so. Sometimes he does. Like he might not have did it last year because he got his PC, but he since it's released, like he usually does it like once a year. He'll replay it.
So. Like when I finished, like that was my game of the year. The game it came out.
You mean the year it came out? But yeah,
the game it came out.
The game it came out.
Sorry, I'm tired and I've had a beer now.
It's okay. I politely corrected you. Somebody else decided to take a jab. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so mean.
Our dad's an asshole, Moose. But like, I've heard people say that like that is like their favorite story ever in any medium. I've heard people say it's the greatest story ever in video games. And I sit here, I'm not going to sit here and say they're wrong because they're entitled to their opinion. But like I feel like if it were great, I'd want to go back. Now, do I think it's bad? No. But the reason I don't go back is because I just don't want to feel that again.
Which is understandable. It's a story that you might not want to feel again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very bleak, very dark, you know? So, yeah, I'm understanding you're like, I don't want to feel that again, so I don't want to play it again.
But see, I would read Dickens novels. I've read Dickens novels more than once, and that motherfucker was not happy.
Yeah. He's living in England during the...
But like he wrote a book called Bleak House.
Yeah. That should pretty much tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. And it's amazing. But I remember when and I'm going to shout out to Giant Bomb again because I love their content. But when they were doing their Game of the Year deliberations that year, like everyone was saying, you know, yeah, Last of Us is like hands down number one. And Gerstmann did people sort of lob the old curmudgeon at him, and sometimes I think they're right, sometimes I disagree. But like he said, what about the part where playing Last of Us sucked? And I was like, yeah. You know, I feel like there was good gameplay in Last of Us, but the overwhelming dread, just hung a shadow over everything. And I think that helped and hindered at the same time.
Yeah.
But getting back to like AI, also in that thread, you know, I did the whole sort of try and bait Moose into an argument thing and started to say like, well, you know, there were some Souls NPCs that are pretty good. Especially more like, and I just said this gen because like Olek from Bloodborne,
he's
like
good
in the Chalice Dungeon. He's a good guy. The Queen Killer with his wheel and you know the road cone over his head and he's running around naked. Yeah, good for him. Yeah, and he's actually a good man to have on your side to fight. At least I think it's dude. If it's not, I apologize. But like I will say this, the worst one in Bloodborne, Henriette. She runs after everything.
Yeah, she has no chill. She's got no chill.
She's like, I got this hammer, I got a gun.
Dude,
everything is gonna die.
You remember when we were playing and she like we would kill something and like 2 seconds later she'd be throwing a Molotov cocktail at it. And it's like, God, you're like, damn it.
Then there was that one time where where we're like standing outside the Grand Cathedral in the cathedral, and she like runs because she got tagged to the two hunters. Yeah. And she like goes and gets killed.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, yeah, I know shit's alive and shit needs to die.
Yeah. And she's fucking aggressive.
And that's a point of view I respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, you know, you have to take a breath. You gotta have a plan, Henriette.
Yeah. That's why she dies all the time, because she doesn't have a plan.
But like, and the NPCs that you can summon in Dark Souls 3 are really fun. The I don't remember the name, but the Black Hat guy is really good. You summon him for the Abyss Watchers fight, I think. The Swordmaster dude you can summon for Yort is a good time, or Vort, I think is how you say his name. There are some good ass NPCs in Dark Souls 3. And I think that like even in the PS3 generation, there were plenty of good NPCs that you could summon in Dark Souls 1 and 2. One of my all-time favorite is probably Solaire. Just because, you know, I love his story. I love his dialogue in the game when you meet him, and I can't wait for you both to experience that. But at the same time, I'm not going to go through a lot of why I like it because I feel like that would ruin it.
Yeah.
Also, like, I've heard the Ghost Recon Wildlands AI is broke as hell.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's been fixed, but like when it was released, like you could basically just let the AI do everything.
Well, all you had to do was mark the enemies in Ghost Recon, because this was an issue in Future Soldier 2, and it's basically the same tech lifted and put into the open world experience where like you go into this base and you tag, you have a crew of 4 and there's always like some form of 4 enemies just kind of like in the vicinity, and as long as you have them all marked and you're playing single player, if you headshot someone, like your teammates will headshot the other 3. Like it's literally instant.
Just
instant.
Yeah. It's like guaranteed. It's not like even like a question of whether they'll make the shot or not.
Yeah.
The NPCs are beat the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play it. No, because I'll be good at it. No,
you'll shoot the guy in the dick. And he'll be like, "Oh my god!" And he'll be the only one left alive because everybody else headshotted their guys. They'll just laugh at you.
I mean, you said shoot him in the head. You didn't. Yeah. You didn't specify. You didn't say, "Hey, the one on top of his shoulders."
Yeah.
Fair point. You're right.
Let's just talk about the degree of difficulty to shoot someone in the head of their penis from 50 yards versus their head on their shoulders. There's a significant increase in difficulty, and I go for the difficult stuff.
Yeah. Fair point. You know what? You're right.
I want to speak on some terrible AI. There are a couple of missions in Neo where an NPC comes with you, and unlike that game is, and I'm going to make this comparison because that game is given the whole Samurai Dark Souls thing. Mm-hmm. Unlike Dark Souls, if those NPCs die, they just take a knee until you revive them. They don't. It's not like if you summon an NPC in Dark Souls and you just let them do all the fighting because you're afraid. They die, and then everything they've pissed off comes after you. It's like they just take a knee, and then whatever they were fighting comes after you, and you can just lead it around the level if you have room to. And then wake them up, and then they continue the fight. I don't remember the first one you fight with, but it's I believe it's a dual katana wielder that is relatively aggressive and doesn't really shy away from a fight. They die a ton. They have the armor of a wet paper bag, and they just drop like a sack of dirt all the time. So you're beating enemies, and then you have to revive them. You're like, man, what are you here for? In this fight with the Onryoki that I brought up before we got here, midway through the fight, someone just shows up and starts talking about, wow, this takes me back. I'm looking forward to fighting alongside you again. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Well, anyway, you like, and this is a character. It's a heavily armored, hammer wielding, samurai dude. So like immediately, Moose and I would be on board with this guy. Yeah, you got a giant hammer, bro. Come on in. We're doing this. This guy drops like a sack of dirt. Like 2 hits, and he's just. He's like, oh, I have failed. I'm like, yeah, you failed because now I have to pick up your mess. And it's like, and it gets to the point where like reviving him isn't even worth the time because the boss will one-shot you just as easily as it 2 or 3 shotted him. And I feel like the AI could have been better. And the only way I can point that out, because I don't know how AI works because brains. What he does is he does like this weird WWE or anime entrance where he like shows up and gets into a pose and says a few sentences. Meanwhile, while the entire like minute and a half this is happening, the person that is aggroed can basically walk over to him and just go ham, and he's just sitting there talking.
Yeah,
like he will just take it, and I feel like that could have been done better.
Yeah,
but yet games like Dark Souls 3, they got their AI right. When you bring Slave Knight Guile into the Sister Fried fight,
that's a good time.
That guy, he's like, you know what? I know what this lady can do, and I know when she's gonna kill me, and I'll back away accordingly. Slave Knight Guile, he's my boy. And then when you have to fight him at the end, that's a good fight as well.
Corey, what are your thoughts on AI? Do you
have any AI shenanigans?
Bad experiences? Like,
I mean, there's a few that come to mind, and like Resident Evil 5 has really bad AI.
Hell right? Yes, it does.
Especially your companion, especially the scene where, or the part where like Wesker's chasing you through like this basement part towards the end, and she's just kind of like wandering around in front of him, and if she dies, I literally had this point where I had to ask my friend to help me play because like she wouldn't stop like walking in it, like literally just like her character model is like right in front of Wesker, and I was like, what are you doing? Move, leave, something. Like, just get out of the way. It was awful. Yeah. And then there's AI that like you think it's good for a while, and then you notice that it's literally just a pattern of programming where like, Halo and then later on Destiny really fall into this category where, if you're in Halo, if you're shooting an elite, once you shoot him like 3 times, he's going to like stumble backwards, shake 3 times, and then dive to the left or the right. Yeah. That pattern is coming.
Yeah, or the battle rifle, he responds to the battle rifle ammunition, basically.
Yeah, and then Destiny obviously moved on from Halo. Bungie usually literally uses the same animation for the Fallen as the Covenant. Like the Vandals in Destiny are basically the elites, where like they'll like jump out of the way and they'll dive roll, and like in Destiny 2 they have new animations where they'll like scurry towards you or crawl up a wall or whatever. But like you tend to learn the animations, and it's like it's cool for a moment when you're like, oh man, they're like scurrying away, but then you don't see any new animations where it's like, man, I've been playing this game for 20 hours and they're still doing the same exact thing that they were like at the beginning of the game.
Still dancing to the same old song.
And like the way Destiny kind of covers that is like in big events like strikes or raids or something, the enemies swarm you, or there's just so many enemies to where it's overwhelming, and that's kind of how they mask the AI, and a lot of people notice that stuff, and they give you that sense of being overwhelmed instead of like smart AI flanking you or whatever. So
yeah,
I think those are kind of the big ones. I actually like how Dark Souls and Bloodborne do it, because like their patterns are deliberate, but when you're fighting a boss, like they have like 6 or 7 different animations sometimes.
Yeah.
In the pattern, and not just 1 or 2 the way that Destiny and Halo do. And I know they're totally different games, whatever, but my point is like their animations are varied, and sometimes you'll walk up on a dude in Bloodborne and he'll charge you, or he'll hold up a shield, he'll knock you back with the shield, and then he'll take a giant swing at you. Like there's multiple stages to the process.
Yeah, and it's completely random, like what they'll do. Like I think we talked about it before, Matt, where it's like you'll get completely owned by an enemy that you've pretty much destroyed every time you've ever encountered it, and you're like, I've never seen, but it's like, it's cool because you're like, I've never seen them do that. You know what I mean? Like it's like a movie.
I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah, you're like, I did not know that could happen, and you're just like, okay, well now I know not to trust that motherfucker, and I'm gonna come in swinging.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's an Onryoki move that I'd never seen before today, and it's one where he reaches back and yokai builds around his hand. He grabs you, pulls you up to his mouth, bites your head off, and throws you. I was like. I've
never seen him do that.
Yeah, like man, you held that back for the right fight, sir. Good for you.
Nice.
And Moose, to your point on like The Last of Us, like and Uncharted has the same issue pretty much, where like you'll shoot an enemy, maybe like they'll just keep running at you and they won't try to dodge you. They'll just like in The Last of Us is a little bit different because they're not exactly. A lot of the enemies aren't exactly humans or whatever, but
yeah,
in Uncharted they just kind of like run at you and you're shooting them in the head 4 or 5 times and they just duck behind the cover and it doesn't matter where you shoot them. And like I think as good at storytelling as Naughty Dog is, like their gameplay mechanics and their AI need some work done. I mean, we've talked about gameplay and Naughty Dog games plenty of times on this show, and like I understand like The Last of Us was PS3 kind of memory and working with half the RAM that was available to them and stuff like that, but at the same time other games were kind of doing it better on the same system.
Well I hope like Last of Us 2, like with the more memory and more CPU power, like they can help correct the AI issues for The Last of Us 2. And Phillips he thinks the shooting the gunplay in Uncharted is just fine and all that, but I'm like, and I understand that, but it's like I just maybe other video games have just done too good of a job of behaving unrealistically like guns. But like even when you watch like shooting videos of guns, testing guns, like it's rare for like a person shooting at a target that might be like maybe 6 to 8 inches. Almost all the bullets are going to go somewhere in that 6 to 8 inches. You're not going to have one just go fucking stray like 3 feet up, or like 10 inches over to the upper right or something like that. As long as you're holding your aim on your target, you're pretty much going to put it where it belongs, and so you're not going to have a stray fucking bullet like you do in Uncharted. So I think the best third person shooting for me is Gears of War. I think that third person shooting is probably the best a third person game has to offer. But like Resident Evil 4, even though you couldn't run while you're shooting, like I still feel like that gunplay is better than Uncharted, or even something more recent. You look at Tomb Raider or Horizon, and I know like bows are different than guns, but I still feel like that third person gameplay was still better than what Uncharted has to offer. And I feel like we talk about this all the time, but I just feel like Naughty Dog is so good technically with like graphics and the way that they use lighting and their water and their landscapes and stuff. They're so pretty to look at that like it just boggles my mind that they can't catch up with that in terms of gameplay. Yeah,
I also think that goes to the heart of Moose's post, where he said, "Hey, don't worry about graphics and resolution.
Next gen, you worry about that revolution, man.
I mean, the revolution is going to be in the streets,
right?
Take that street level. I mean, you propositioning me, Moose? No.
I think, yeah.
All right, shave the goatee. We'll talk. But
you don't like a little tickle, Matt?
There's a tickle and then there's barbed wire. Look at Moose. That's goddamn
wire. This is very soft. You can ask Kelly. Very nice.
I'll text her. But I feel like trying to enhance things that direction rather than saying, hey, we want to make everything look as realistic as goddamn possible is probably a better way to push video games forward. For the simple fact that like you get games that look as great as because like you can't argue that Uncharted, all 4 of them, and Last of Us, you can't argue that they look goddamn perfect, like for what they are. Their gameplay has some questions. I think this gen thus far, Horizon has nailed both. I mean, sure, there were plenty that people that said once you get into the side missions, like the facial animations are broke as hell. It's fucking whatever, man. And I still say this: anybody that says playing a video game on a controller is super immersive, I don't think immersive is the right word.
Yeah,
because I don't lose the fact that I am sitting on a couch. Or if I happen to be sitting on a floor, I don't lose the fact that I'm in a room holding a controller staring at a TV.
Yeah.
Games have not gotten to the level of books yet. But the thing that you need to make a great game is the play. Like you can't have a good game without it playing either fun or well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't really know how to say one is fun and one is well, but I think if you look at a game like Overcooked, it's probably not the tightest controls, but that's probably fun to play with a bunch of people. Whereas you look at a game like Super Meat Boy, controls tight as hell, despite being flighty like we kind of got into last episode. And they're fun too. So I think the one problem the video game industry faces is, forging deeper into that uncanny valley or just making an experience that is truly interactive and fun to interact with.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Let's do final thoughts and we'll go to 20 questions.
I'm thinking in terms of like, we talk, Moose brought up the point of like better resolution and better AI. Like games look so good right now that like there's barely any, and I know we've probably said this already, like 3 or 4 times during this conversation, but like games look so good right now, and the way games are experimenting with art direction and really experimenting in like gameplay mechanics. Like I know we're not very fond of Xbox on this show, but one thing I think Microsoft's first party studios do well is their games do favor resolution or favor frame rate and mechanics over resolution. You look at Halo 5, you're running that on Xbox One or Xbox One S, and sometimes you'll notice the resolution dip a little bit from 1080p to maybe 900 or even 720 when there's a lot going on, but the frame rate doesn't dip and the mechanics don't change.
Yeah.
And that really works well. And like, there's people who out there who want like the biggest, baddest PC to run Doom at 4K, 60 frames a second, uncapped frame rate, whatever. But like for us, if we're playing on a console, like you don't want that frame rate dip to drop. And we notice that in Bloodborne and stuff, where like that game is a fantastic game, but sometimes that frame rate dips sub 25, sub 20, and you notice it. And like in a game where you need to be on point with your mechanics, like you don't want that frame rate dip to drop.
Yeah. I do want to point out that I would prefer frame rate over resolution. So like if it was frame, I could have swore I posted like give me frame rate and and
give me frame rate or give me
because like a lot of people are like 4K is the best. 4K, like I have a 1080p TV. It's relatively old, so it's not like it might not be the best. I mean, it looks good, still looks freaking good. So I have no reason to upgrade to a 4K TV, and I don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm not buying an Xbox One X. So I don't need 4K. Like I would rather, like you were saying, Corey, like give me the frame rate. Dark Souls. If you can't give me 60, give me 45. I think Dark Souls 3 locks in at 45. I think my cousin was telling me it locks in at 45 on a Pro.
I'm not going to, like, people will say all of that. And I want to say a few things about Dark Souls since you brought it up. I hope once you get to Blighttown, the frame rate doesn't become a shipwreck as it did on PS3, or actually originally on PC it did as well. But I was still able to play the game. Like I guess because I didn't play it when it was first launched.
Mm-hmm.
I played it, I think a year later, and I went through it, and I noticed a lot of dips just because, like, as someone who does not pay attention to that sort of thing, that was the first time it really sort of got in my way. I just hope that they found a way to smooth that area out. I think let's play a game. Remember Borderlands on Vita?
Yeah.
Remember how bad that was? I just hope if Borderlands were to come to the Switch, it's better. Not perfect. It doesn't have to be, perfect. I'm playing on my PS3 or PS4. It doesn't have to be a 1-to-1, but like, get what needs to happen to make that playable. And that's part of the reason why I'm going to buy Dark Souls on Switch is first and foremost, I like Moose thinks he has a problem. I have a bigger problem. And secondly, like, I like the fact that I will be able to go through Blighttown on a Nintendo console, and I kind of want to see how it works. I hope it works. Regardless of how good or bad it is, I will probably finish it and move on with my life, or probably just keep it around just so I can revisit it because I have an issue.
You mean a problem?
Problem, issue, I don't know which one's worse, but I will say this: don't expect the best. Expect it to be appropriate. And
low expectations going.
And if you're like, the people are talking about the new Shadow of the Colossus remake and how it is like actually really cool looking, like, and I feel like, because you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Blue Point basically built that for PS4, right? Am I crazy?
Correct. They rebuilt it from the ground up, assets and everything, but they worked with Studio Japan. But yes.
Yeah, they have to. But
yes.
like Blue Point, I think Blue Point did a lot of the PS3 version, but I think Studio Japan had more input, and I just hope that there's a lot not lost in translation from the PS2 to the PS3, because I remember, that is one platinum that I will never get on PS3, because one Colossus time trial is completely glitched to the point where I just can't do it. I've uninstalled it. I've deleted it. I've even deleted my save, gone back, beat it to done everything to where I need to get that again. And that's the one that is in my way. And it's for those people keeping score at home. It's Colossus number 3 on the hard time attack. Guy's a dick.
Is that's not out yet? Is it for PS4?
PS4. I think it's out this week. It's out
at midnight.
Because I'm really interested in playing that.
I'm going to tell you this: a lot of people level the greatest game of all time at that game. I feel like it is very special, and I feel like it's a cool, interesting thing. If you've never played it before and you're going into it expecting the best game you've ever played, wait for a sale so you don't lose the money you think you're losing.
Right. I'm not going in expecting that that's the greatest game ever made, because so many people claim that on so many games, but I do think the concept is interesting, and I never played it on PS2. Like,
okay, neither have I.
I didn't play it on PS2. I didn't play the remaster on PS3. But I always thought that concept of that game was super cool, where you're just like, it's literally just you and these, 15 giant monsters in this world, and you just go and have to figure out
16.
how to whatever. Shut up. You know what I mean? And like,
way to be a jerk.
Yeah, no, what a dick. God.
I keep telling you I'm the worst. Gotta prove it.
Dad, can I have $20?
No.
Jerk. Hate you.
I thought you were the dad, Corey.
I don't know. My two dads. It's a comedy I'm writing.
That show sucked.
It's a comedy I'm writing.
Good luck.
That's a topic for another day. I don't get it. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for a sale or wait till it drops to like $19.99.
Yeah, do that. Seriously, do that.
Because like everybody said, The Last Guardian was so great, and I'm like, yeah.
The people that said The Last Guardian was great were probably Team Eco fans, and I didn't finish The Last Guardian. I started it and messed with it, and I need to go back. I think that would be a backlog game for me that I should probably revisit this year. But I think Trico is a fucking cool thing.
I mean, all their concepts are super interesting. I just know like those games don't play well, and like I mean, from what I hear, those games don't play well. I've never played them, but like, there's just like the concepts, the execution on the concepts isn't like the greatest, especially in The Last Guardian.
Like, I'll say this: what those people, I feel like I can defend The Last Guardian taking 10 years to develop.
Yeah,
it's a thin defense at best. But I feel like getting Trico to feel like
thin? The Patriots.
Amen, bro. I feel like getting Trico to feel like a living, breathing actual animal rather than just a cipher. I feel like that's what that was. I feel like they had to get Trico right and then release a game around it. And I feel like the game around it probably isn't going to live up to people who play Uncharted's expectations, or people who play Dark Souls expectations, or people who play super tight controlling games' expectations. But the majesty of The Last Guardian is getting Trico to feel like a living, breathing thing. Despite being AI. Like they get that. Like that is nailed. But the rest of it,
yeah.
And because it took them so long to get that part, the rest of it had to be, or Sony would have canned it.
Right.
And I really believe that.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
20 questions.
Yeah.
AI's weird, and we hope it gets better. Let's play 20 questions.
All right.
I'm gonna pee first, though.
Okay, well, I'll explain the rules. In fact, no, I'm not gonna explain the rules. Let's just shit talk Corey while he's gone. What do you say, Moose?
Sure. Fucking tool. He's a Browns fan. You can't shit talk him. Shit talk.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so difficult, isn't it?
He's a Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
But see, the Cleveland Cavaliers were good before LeBron. Like, they had a team in the 90s that was really only stopped by Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Mark Price, Craig Elo, Brad Daugherty, they had a solid squad. And Lenny Wilkins was their coach. He's the all-time winningest basketball coach, to my knowledge, or at least he was at one point.
Mm-hmm.
He's never won a title. But the man knew his way around the basketball court, and if you weren't watching them play a pizzazz team, it was cool to watch the Cavs. I apologize.
Sorry, you've been drinking.
The Browns have never really been good to watch. I'll be real. And I remember when I first started getting into just sports in general, I'm like, who are the best teams? And they would say this. I'm like, well, who are the worst teams? And almost universally, everybody answered football-wise, the Browns. I'm like, man, I want them to be good so you can shut up.
Yeah.
And then they just and in Philly, I mean, you'll know this because you grew up here. It's always been a trust the process sort of situation.
Yeah.
And this year, this whole Embiid thing, he's really good, and then the Sixers are playing. They're probably not gonna win the title this year, but they're playing good basketball.
20 questions. Sorry, I just interrupted you saying something.
That's cool.
My headphones weren't in, so I couldn't hear you. So
that's fine. So this is 20 questions. If you don't know the rules for 20 questions, it's Moose and I. It's Corey's game this week, so he has a game in his mind. He hasn't told us because that would just defeat the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Moose and I are going to ask 20 yes or no questions. We'll alternate, so he'll go first, I'll go second, and then after 5 we get a 2-minute huddle. After 10 we get a 2-minute huddle, and after 20 we get a 5-minute huddle, but then we have to guess.
Yeah.
So if we're right, Moose and I both get a point. If we are wrong, Corey gets a point. Now, current standing for this season is, I believe, Corey and I are tied at 2.
Yep.
And Moose has 3. And we actually have an interesting thought from the chat. Benny Blanco from DeBay says Corey is going to pull off a one-shot with what he did with the Lemmings. Benny,
we went rare game shopping, and I found the Super Nintendo copy of Lemmings.
And you sent it to me, and I was just angry all over.
I know. I almost bought it. Moose and I were planning on sending it to you as a prank gift. But.
I would have respected the hell out of both of you for that. But still.
That's great audio, Matt.
And that's why I did it. And I kind of hope Benny's right, because I would like to see Corey, not be the Browns this season of 2020.
I've already scored 2. I've already won twice. So
you're already. But see, we have a ways. When are we ending the season? Have we even talked?
No, we'll talk about that later.
Probably.
Okay, that's fine.
We're ending the season in E3.
Well, June. I meant June, and then we'll do a 4th season from July to December or whatever.
Okay,
I'm okay with that. But, so Corey, you have your game.
I do.
Okay,
I'm really
great.
psyched.
I'm glad you're prepared, because otherwise this is all for naught. Yeah. And Moose, congratulations on your Eagles.
Thank you.
Get the first question.
Was the game released in the HD era?
No.
Okay. Was this game released before January? Or I'm sorry. I fucked up. Was this game initially released before January 1st, 2000?
Initially released before January the 1st, 2000? No.
Okay.
All right.
Got a small window to play with, Moose.
All right.
Freaking cold.
What should I ask? I got so many questions in the head, and I'm like, where should I go with them?
Which head?
I guess I should start timers on this, huh?
Is this a licensed property? A licensed game?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I thought that was a good question.
I agree. I'm like,
that was question 3, right?
Yeah, that was question 3. I'll start keeping track. I apologize.
All right, 3.
Is this game a third-person game? Now, as we've had discussions about this, third-person means over the shoulder.
I thought. No. Wait a second. I thought
because no, Moose. Because we had this discussion. Like, yes, in terms of writing, third-person means you see the character. Now, but then we had this argument one episode, and we decided that third-person means third-person over the shoulder, or third-person camera behind the avatar.
Did we, Corey? I could have swore we agreed that third person just meant that you saw the character.
Well, technically,
third person is just seeing the character.
Every side-scrolling platform.
We did clarify that isometric point of view was different from third person, but it's still technically a third person game.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll stick with that. Is this a third person game?
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we get this out of the way. Moose, you're up.
Do you play a human?
Yep. That's 5, gentlemen. You have
2 minutes.
2 minutes starting right now.
So what do you think this is on? It wasn't the HD era, which started in what, 2005?
It was when the Wii U was or not Wii U, just the Nintendo Wii when that was released. That's the beginning of it.
So 2006.
5.
Or no,
Xbox,
I'm sorry.
Xbox
360 came out in 2005.
I was going to say it was.
You're right. I apologize.
So January 1st, 2000 to
2005.
2005. All right, so it's 5 years.
So we got OG Xbox. We've got PS2.
We've got GameCube. Right? Got GameCube.
Okay.
All
right.
That's pretty much what was out at that time, as far as like consoles.
Games were still coming out for other consoles, though.
True. What about Game Boy? What Game Boy was that? Was the I think the Game Boy Advance was out at that time.
See, I feel like the one thing we've never really gone into is what handhelds are, and I think we've kind of always just sort of used an honor system of staying away from it.
But he might not. Look at him. He's like, I'll play Tom Brady.
Well, let's avoid the shit talking for now, Moose.
All right.
I feel like
he's all hyped up on Super Bowl juice.
I don't think we need to go is he fucking with us and doing the
30 seconds
handheld route, but I think like we should like if we tackle console and play style at the same time, we have a good.
Well, we've got you play as a human, so it's like we could do combat. We could ask, is there RPG elements? Like kind of narrow some stuff down.
I'm gonna tell you this: do your side scroller question. I'm gonna find out if this is on a Nintendo console.
Okay, so it's
time's up, people. Question time.
6.
Yes.
You. Okay.
Matt, it is your turn.
Is this game a Nintendo console exclusive?
No.
Okay. Correct.
Moose.
Do you shoot things in the game?
I have to check. I do not think so.
Okay.
But I want to make sure so I don't lead you down
the wrong path.
Yeah.
What's his eye say? What is the reflection of his eyes?
I'm too drunk. I don't even know.
You can't see what I'm looking at here.
You're looking at the back of your hand. No, the front of your hand, actually.
There is no shooting things in this game. Matt.
Was this game initially released as an exclusive? No, I'm not going to do that. Was this game initially released? Oh, fuck. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that.
10 seconds.
Is this game a platformer?
No.
Fuck.
Moose.
Are there RPG elements in the game?
Yes.
So it's not a Nintendo exclusive. Third person shooter.
Okay.
Yeah.
No shooting.
Don't shoot things. There's
5 seconds left.
Was this game exclusive to any console?
Yes. That's 10. You now have 2 minutes for your second huddle starting now.
I feel like
Third person, exclusive to a console.
So is he going to pick one that's like traditional to the consoles that are out at that time between 2000 and 2005? Or is he going to be like, this game was released like 6 years after the such and such console was technically dead?
No, because everything has been initially released.
Yeah.
It hinges on the fact that it was initially released after January 1st, 2001.
So you do play as a human. Third person, no shooting. It's a console exclusive.
Third person, no shooting, console exclusive. It's not exclusive to a Nintendo console, so it's not like a Mario game.
What about
Mario shoots stuff now?
What about like Dark Cloud? What about
It's not okay, so it's not a platformer. There is RPG elements.
that's got RPG elements. It's not necessarily a platformer.
It's been forever since I played those games, so
You have access to them.
I know. Appreciate the reminder.
What was that?
Nothing.
30 seconds.
This is exclusive to a console.
Do you want to try and narrow down that console?
I can try and narrow down the console if you have another way to attack this gameplay wise.
10 seconds.
Okay. I could ask, is there melee combat? Is the main form of combat melee? Because it would have to be.
Time's up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moose is your turn.
No, but see, it has to be because there's shooting. Start the 30 seconds.
No, there's no shooting. There's no shooting.
But yeah, there's no shooting, so it has to be melee based.
But I mean,
magic is shooting.
Do you want me to ask that question or move on to something else?
Move on to something else.
Okay. Shit.
5 seconds.
RPG elements.
Time.
Does it take place on Earth?
Let me see. I want to say yes, but I'm going to caveat that with it is a fictional version of Earth.
Okay. Fictional version of Earth. Okay.
Matt, you are up.
Fictional version of Earth. You don't shoot things. You're a human.
15 seconds on the clock. 10 seconds on the clock.
Is this a fighting game?
No.
Okay.
Moose.
So you play as a human. So do you have a accompanying party, or do you play the game by yourself? Like is it like a
Are you asking me if there's a party system?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a party system? Okay, so there's a party system. So we're looking at like an RPG.
Yeah.
Thinking it's third person.
Well, okay.
He's like, I'll let him hit.
I almost helped you. I don't want to help you.
So there is a party system. Is that the answer?
There is a party.
There is a party system, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's like a JRPG or an RPG. So I have no fucking clue.
I love Matt's face.
Yeah.
Is this a Japanese developed game?
Yes.
Ooh. Was it exclusive to a Sony console?
Yes. Okay. That is 15. You have one more 2-minute huddle starting right now.
I'll be honest, I had an idea, and the fact that it's exclusive to a Sony console fucked me up. So
you were gonna pick Brute Force, weren't you?
No, for some reason I thought you were doing Shenmue.
All right, so it's got to be on PS2.
Yeah,
it's got to be on PS2.
Shut up, Corey.
I'm just saying, PS1 games are still coming out at the time.
I know.
I'm gonna drive to Cleveland and smother him.
That's fine. I won't be there.
Yeah, he's not in Cleveland. He's
in Akron. I'll go to Akron. I'll go to Akron and I'll smother him.
No, you're gonna go to Akron and look in phone books, and then you'll go smother him.
Anyways. Shit. We're burning time talking about killing Corey.
So it's exclusive to a Sony console.
1 minute.
Yes.
Party system. What the fuck had parties on?
Well, I mean, you had like a lot of the like Final Fantasy games. Like even if you go back as far as like PlayStation, you had like Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of the Wild, but Breath of Fire. You had like the Disgaea games. You've had the Wild Arms games. Like, but some of those like they're shooting, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like wasn't an RPG.
Are we like? I'll stop timer here because like I want to clarify something with you guys. Are we saying that if you shoot something that also includes magic, just for future references? Okay. Just
because you said you don't.
There's still no shooting.
Still no shooting. There's no magic.
I want to clarify.
There's no magic.
For future references, though, I think shooting and magic should be different categories. But
okay,
I'm going to give you an extra 30 seconds
after this particular game that goes into effect.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I'm giving you guys an extra 30 seconds.
I feel like shooting is gun and like ammunition based, and I feel like
magic's more like
spells. Yeah, exactly. More like books and conjuring and different kinds of. Yeah, it's a different kind of animal. What about like since it's not shooting, so like games that use. Ooh, what if it's Legend of Dragoon? Because that was exclusive. That was a PlayStation 1 game. It's third person. There's a party system.
Western developed. Ask that.
But no, that was developed by Japan.
I know. But see, here's the thing: if it's not a Japanese game,
you already asked.
And I said yes.
Game, and he said yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go with Legend of Dragoon then.
Does the battle system have some form of quick time button pressing events?
Quick time events? Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
Matt?
Moose,
I never played Legend of Dragoon, so do you have any way?
So, all right. So, you would build up. So, you build up your gauge to turn into your actual Dragoon version, and then, God, the story was forever long. It's a great game, but if it's Legend of Dragoon,
Shuhei had something to do with it.
Shuhei was I believe, the producer of it. Yeah.
Does this game involve Shuhei Yoshida as one of its principal character or players involved in its making?
I'm gonna have to look that up, but I doubt it.
Damn. Okay, so then that would erase Legend of Dragoon. But there are some quick time events. We should do a console. It's Japanese made.
No.
God damn. Okay, we were close. So there's quick time.
I haven't been paying attention. That was question 18, right?
17.
If it was 17, that was Moose's question. So it has to be 18.
Okay, then it was 18. Just trying to give me an extra question there, but you didn't want it, so.
So now it's my turn.
I don't do charity, Deering.
Okay.
And it wasn't a licensed game. Was it? Should I ask if it was published by a console by the console maker? Matt, what do you think of that? Should
5 seconds.
Yeah, do that.
Was the game produced?
Published.
Was it published? Was it published by the console maker?
No.
That was exclusive. So it's not. It wouldn't be a Sony game. I wonder if it's like a Square Enix game.
See, I have like a weird thought.
That is the only game that I know of that has QuickTime event game that has QuickTime in it.
I want to be clear. In this territory, it was not published by the console manufacturer.
So that would be
in another territory.
In another territory, it was.
I don't know if that would help you or not, but
I could see Sony publishing it elsewhere.
Okay, so this is question 20.
Yeah. What do we? Fuck. I have no clue. I have no clue what the game could be. Because the only other game that I can think of that has QuickTime events would be God of War.
Yeah.
What about Bushido Blade or even Brave Fencer Musashi? But that was Square Enix. I don't think Sony wouldn't produce that in Japan, and Square Enix would produce it everywhere. So I mean, publish it. I keep saying produce, but you know what I mean. Publish it. Fuck. It's your question, Matt. I ain't got anything.
Me either.
Do you want to ask?
Do I want to ask what?
I was just gonna say, I know you don't want to say melee, but do we want to say is the main form of combat blades? Is it traditional weaponry? It's not you're not beating somebody with a baseball bat. You're not hitting someone with a rake. It's an actual sword. It's like a lance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Try and narrow that down instead of it just being a backyard brawler.
Okay.
To try and help. That would just be my question. But I mean, whatever. Because then we could lean more towards, I was saying, a regular, not a regular, but an RPG.
Is there magic in Dark Cloud?
Yes, there is magic in Dark Cloud.
Okay, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be nice and not count that as your question, by the way.
I know, well, you can't because I wasn't asking. Okay,
man.
Okay, I'm doing this, Moose.
Okay.
I feel like we need to ask if this is part of the series. This is part of a series. Do you feel like that's a worthwhile?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I like that. Do it.
Is this game part of a series?
No.
Okay. Fuck. That doesn't help us. All right.
Fuck. So it's got RPG elements, plays a human, third person, there's a party system, there's quick time events.
So we have 5 minutes now.
Yep.
10. Okay. And Sony, so like it can't be God of War because Sony published that pretty much everywhere. So it's not God of War. And Brave Fencer Musashi, the only other game, like which is third person that I don't even know if it has quick time events. That was Square Enix. So that was Square Enix everywhere. So I can't even think of what Sony did in Japan. Like Studio Japan did, and then somebody else published it in America.
America. Where's
I do not want this dirty bastard tying me.
Yeah, you really don't.
Sorry.
There's so many questions you guys didn't ask that I would have asked within the first 5 questions.
I know.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say because you have the game.
It's true.
No, these are just basic questions.
I've got like nothing.
Like what? Give me a question, Corey.
Is there multiplayer?
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. What else?
Is there melee combat?
We did that.
No, we didn't. We asked if they were shooting. And he said yes, and you
he said no, there isn't shooting.
No, he said no, there's no shooting, but you assumed that that automatically meant that there was melee combat.
I mean, is there combat in general?
Yeah, see? Exactly. And I was trying to go down that route.
Is there competitive multiplayer? Is there co-op multiplayer? Was this on PlayStation 1 or 2 after you narrowed it down to the platform? Just
do you feel good now?
I do, actually. I feel real good.
As long as you
I feel about like Moose did when the Eagles won the Super Bowl yesterday.
This is his Browns going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's gonna win this season. And
see, I kind of feel like if there's RPG elements, there has to be melee combat. It doesn't make sense otherwise.
But what if it's like
it's not like this is goddamn Ring King or Fight Night.
What if it's like a card game?
It's a Fight Night was a fucking license, so you can't, asshole.
What if it's like
what boxing game was it? Ready to Rumble.
What if it is like a
but Ready to Rumble is also, isn't boxing also a fighting? So I asked if it was a fighting game.
You're right.
What if
you are correct?
Could you stop wasting our time and arguing with him? What if the game is like a card-based game
2
where
minutes
you use
left.
cards to conduct your combat, and there is no like melee?
So you think this is Metal Gear Acid?
I'm not saying it's Metal Gear Solid Acid. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know a lot of games with like quick time events.
I kind of like the idea of Brave Fencer Musashi.
That's not going to be it because Sony fucking Square Enix published that everywhere it was released, as far as I know.
Do you want me to give you a hint with your last 60 seconds?
Sure.
This was a greatest hits title on the PlayStation 2. There. Now you're probably going to get it.
No, I'm not.
Look at him. Look at him, man. He can't even see straight.
I can't even hold my head up right now. I'm so tired.
PlayStation 2, greatest hits. Bouncer? Maybe, but that was Square Enix. Bouncer was Square Enix. God Hand? What about God Hand?
Tell me about God Hand. I don't know anything about God Hand.
I think that was Sony. I think that even had QuickTime events. That QuickTime button pressing, like you had to do like hit the button at the right time. Like you basically just, I don't know, like you played a guy who
10 seconds.
I'm gonna ask if it I think you basically had like this indestructible hand, and that's what like the game was based around, and you trying to. Okay, bye, Matt.
Time.
Matt, so I gotta ask. He's got to pee.
Matt took a bad time to go pee.
He's going to pee. I think I'm the only one that can ask the questions around here. I'm gonna ask the question.
Okay. Is
it God Hand?
No.
God damn it.
It is the Bouncer.
God damn it!
It's the Bouncer. Published by Square in North America and Japan and published by Sony Computer Entertainment in Europe. The Bouncer came out in North America on March 6, 2001. It is a beat-em-up genre with RPG elements. You have a party, a 3-person party that you upgrade through multiple playthroughs of the game. And there are quick time events in the later stages of the game. There is competitive and survival multiplayer, and you play as a human.
Fuck.
You said the Bouncer. I was like, fuck.
Shit, and I talked myself out of it. See, that's the problem. Like, that's the problem with the game. It's a Square Enix game, and you would think they would put everywhere. They're going to publish it everywhere.
Well, Sony published most of Square's games in the early 2000s before they merged with Enix.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Shit. Fuck, we had it. Like that. Those were my two guesses. Bouncer and God Hand.
Dude, when you said it, I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Did
I say it before you said greatest hits, or did I say?
No, you said it right before God Hand. You're like the Bouncer. No, God Hand. It's God Hand. And I'm like,
damn it. Matt's going to be extremely disappointed with me.
Yeah, he is.
I just heard.
I'm sorry, man.
What do you mean? I would have. I came in and I heard Corey say it's God Hand.
No. It's the Bouncer. The game is the Bouncer. But see, the problem is, like in the early 2000s, Sony published a lot of Square Enix's games outside of Japan and America before they merged with Square Enix. Before Square merged with Enix and started publishing their games everywhere. And so that's what threw me off, because I was like, the Bouncer was done by Square, so they would have published it everywhere. So that's what eliminated the game for me. That's why I went with God Hand. But apparently, no. In Europe, Sony published the Bouncer. So it was the Bouncer. At least I was right in one of the two choices I was picking. Yeah, I just picked the wrong choice.
Dude, when you said the Bouncer, I almost lost it.
God damn.
Now when you hear that shit, Corey, now you know how I feel when you guys say, "Oh, what if it's Booger Man?"
Yep, I have my map.
Fucking, what if it's Lemmings?
Well done, sir.
Okay, so now I'll be honest. I don't know what the Bouncer is.
That was my first PS2 game. That and really? 2001.
It came out in 2001, and like it
didn't even sell enough copies though to become a greatest hits. And I remember seeing it having a greatest hits box. Yeah, didn't you sell over 1 million copies for that?
I think so. It's a divisive title because a lot of people either love it or a lot of people are like, it's shit.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I loved it, but it was also pretty shitty. So, but yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe you almost got that. Oh,
all right, motherfuckers, I'm bringing the pain next time. So Matt, it's your turn next week.
Yep.
All right, Max Payne is Moose's next game. Remember that.
It's Matt's Pain.
Oh,
well. It is Matt's Pain.
See what I did there?
I did.
It's going to be my pain anyway because Corey's going to reach deep into his rectal cavity and pull it out of there from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, for the first time in the history of 20 questions, I am at the bottom.
You're at the bottom of the rung.
I have,
Oh, man.
Oddly enough, I will be real with the both of you. I'm okay with this.
It's all right, man. It happens to every. It happens.
No. I'm good. I'm actually like kung fu calm.
And there was multiplayer with the multi-tap accessory.
Yeah,
it was verse mode, so that's hilarious.
Moose, I almost picked God Hand.
That would have been hilarious, and you'd be like, "Fuck," because that would have been like me in my game when you guys got The Witness. I was going between two games, and I was just like, "Oh," and the game that I picked, you guys just happened to guess. I was like, "Fuck," I should have went with the other game.
Yeah. Oh man,
that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Hey, no, I'm just proud of myself for like narrowing it down to like two options, and like obviously the one I didn't pick was the right one, but still I was at least would have I had it like in my mind instead of just being like pulling like a total like a game completely out of my ass. Like I at least was able to narrow it down to one of them being the right answer.
Yeah, you did it without me because I was useless.
Nah, you're not useless. You look pretty.
No, I was that game. I was just not useless. I was not useful that game of 20 questions at all. It was not my best performance. I've done better.
It's all right. It's all right. I expect you to do that poorly when you and Corey have to guess my game.
I almost didn't tell you they're quick time events though because they don't unlock until like the fourth playthrough of that game.
Jesus.
Like and it depends on how you level up your characters. So like I almost was like, I don't know if I should tell them, but technically there is, but you have to upgrade your characters to a certain point to unlock the quick time stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that was a good game.
It was.
I'm glad you won. I mean, we're tied now. So hey, listen. As long as Matt's losing, I'm happy. So
look at his face. Look at his drunk face.
Because he won the first season, and technically he kind of won season 2, but we tied and he let me win.
Yeah.
So
I don't need to be Tom Brady. I really don't.
Anyways,
because I'm not that kind of asshole.
I do also like that we're not picking like completely fucking obscure games.
Yeah, that was obscure enough that you wouldn't think of it, but not like.
And that's a good one. The bouncer is a good one, you know. So I mean,
well, and then like there was a time where I got Moose was slain.
Yeah,
and that was
in
like
my own goddamn catalog.
It was like, and for a few games, it was like, is it in Moose's? Is it in Moose's?
Is it in my library?
And that's basically how stupid am I going to feel not knowing this game?
Yeah.
But
I need to put one in your library next time. You don't know your library as well as you think you do.
Just look at his platinum trophies and just pick one of the games that's his platinum trophy.
Yeah, there's
like sometimes he has to ask me. He's like, "Do I own this game?"
This is true. This is true. And most will be like, "No, you dumb fuck! I own this game."
No, I own it. I was like, but I'll be like, no, but you have access to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like when you guys asked me if there was shooting in the game, like the enemies shoot at you and they can drop their guns, but you can only hit people with the guns. You can't shoot them.
So you were right. Technically, there is no shooting.
Yeah.
I see. Like when I was shooting, Like when I ask, is there shooting in the game? I mean, does the main character or anyone in that main party do they do any shooting? Mm-hmm. And if that answer is no, then I think like Final Fantasy 15, like you use swords in that, but the enemies like can shoot you and stuff.
Well, one of your party members has a gun in 15.
Okay, all right.
Prompto has a gun. Like his captors, like they called it Metal Gear Prompto because he could shoot people.
Like think about Super Meat Boy. There is shooting in that game. Does Meat Boy shoot? No. Do any of the characters shoot in it? No. The world shoots at you.
Yeah,
but
so then Razor, there's those saw blades. They'll get you.
Oh, you haven't gotten to the missiles yet.
Oh, I have. There's
missiles
that chase you through the levels in the salt.
There's straight up missiles that come after you.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? This is
like what? And then there's lasers, and then there's things. Then there's, instead of shooting missiles, they shoot things that just chomp, and then they explode into little chomps. Oh, it's crazy. Meat Boy's great. No, that was a good game of 20 questions. Moose, I apologize for being useless. Corey, congratulations on your tie at the top of the table, son. I'm happy for you.
Don't worry, it won't last long.
I know, because you're Cleveland.
This is like when the Browns are like 4-0 in the preseason.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, they're gonna be good this year, and then they go 0-16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Listen, man, don't put yourself down like that. It's all good, man.
I'm just saying, man.
I know.
I just hope the NFL has its story like the '69 Mets, where they were projected to be like one of the worst teams in history, and then they won the goddamn World Series. Yeah. Like I would, and I hope that, I hope it's the Browns that show up and just say, "Yeah, you're all goddamn wrong this time."
Mm-hmm. This time. Mm-hmm. This time. Well, gentlemen, this has been a heck of a show.
It has.
It has been a good show.
It has.
Yeah. I hate that we lost 20 questions, but
that was like a good loss.
That was a good loss.
It was. I mean, it was.
I don't feel cheapened. I don't feel like
it was. I'll be honest with you. It was literally like the Super Bowl. Like
it was well played.
We got outplayed.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah. And neither of us are going to be Tom Brady and storm off the field.
Right. But
because we're not dicks. Moose, where can we find you?
You can find me at Sven, SVHENN, on Twitter, Instagram. That is also my PSN handle. It is also my Xbox handle, but not on Xbox. You can also listen to me, Jason, and Jeff talk about the PlayStation platform on Nerds Gone Platinum. You can tweet us at NG_Platinum on Twitter. You can also email us questions, comments, and concerns to nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt,
my name is Matthew Keel. You can find me at Infinite_Rewind on Twitter, Instagram, and PS4. I have a Switch. I have a friend code. I haven't memorized it, so friend me one of the other places. Ask me, and I'll probably be more likely to send you a picture of my friend code because I have one stored on my smart device that is decorated with a Funk Brewing sticker because I'm living my life, right? Also, recently I have posted my top 20 albums of 2017. I feel like it's a good list. I'm really proud of it. If you read it, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm right. Let's have a conversation. And if anybody wants to talk music, hit me up because I would really like to do that more often. Also, I was on the most recent brew review for the first time in a while. Shocked the shit out of those guys that I showed up because I think they were wrapping up the show when I got on. We had a good, quick conversation, and I hope to be doing that more. I also look to be doing a bit more writing. I don't know what I'm going to be writing. Like, will I be doing album reviews like I started off 2017, or will I do just a weird just essay or whatever. But I'd look to do more writing on ngrradio.com. And I will probably be writing more about beer on craftchatsite.wordpress.com, which I know at one point that was connected with ngrradio.com, but it's not right now. Corey?
I don't know.
Okay, that's cool. If you don't know, that's fine. We'll figure it out another time.
Wait, you're talking about the brew review?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a page on NGR Radio.
But it says there's nothing there. Like it's under construction.
It's NGR Radio / the brew review. I was trying to organize the brew review podcast into a playlist that I could just share on there because their YouTube page isn't organized the way it kind of should be.
That's because of the beer.
So I'm working on it.
Because I've done this.
To be fair, it says we have a great partner in the brew review. This page is currently being brewed for future viewing. So check back soon.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
I know. Wasn't that good? Wasn't that good?
That was good. I was just curious about that. But so I look forward to writing in 2017 about something. If it's about weird stuff, it'll probably be on NGR. If it's actually about beer, it'll probably be on that. And stay tuned. Corey.
Yeah.
Take us.
You can find me at Corey and HD on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on various other shows on NGR Radio, like Nintendo Power Block and Arsenal X. Download our family of shows. Like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube page. Our road to 500 subs begins with you. Please share and tell your friends to subscribe. Even if you're an audio listener, just go to youtube.com/NGR Radio or click the link in the description of your audio podcast. It's there. Just give us that little subscribe, little thumbs up. We really appreciate it. So, other than that, check out ngrradio.com for blogs and stuff. I have a couple things that I've been working on. I've been meaning to finish. I just haven't really had time. But look for that soon. And yeah, until next week, we love you.
Banana and out. Smile. You're celebrating a win. We understand.
Well,
he was eating. He was making sure there wasn't any corn chips in his.
I was eating dinner and I was taking care of the wife and the dogs. Okay, that's what I was doing. So.
It's fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Matt. What's the topic? He can't hear me. His headset's not on.
Are you fucking kidding me? You know what the goddamn topic is. I'll tell you what the topic is.
Well, I'm waiting for you to tell me because I don't know what the topic is.
Well, introduce the B-side. We'll do this. Moose, follow my lead.
Okay.
Should I just start it?
Yep.
B-sides? Okay.
B-sides.
Yeah.
Hate you guys.
No, you didn't say him. I wasn't really. I root for the Browns. I like rooting for the underdog. So, like, whenever the Browns play, I'm always like, hey, I'm like, come on, just let them win.
The Browns aren't even an underdog. They're just
they're just a beaten horse.
That's sad.
I mean, I keep waiting for the Browns to just start doing well. Like not like well, but like I want them to just sort of. I don't want to say turn around, but like turn to a different direction. Okay, you guys ready to start? You guys ready to start the show proper?
Yeah, let's do it. What is our topic? Do we have a topic?
No.
Well,
Okay,
you want
cool.
to talk
What's
about
up?
you want to talk about that AI stuff because I actually have some thoughts.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, you talking about my post about the like smarter AI on next gen?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I'm fine with that. So yeah. Go ahead.
Corey,
Let's do it.
You want me to host? Do you want to host?
no, are you? I'll host if you want. It's your game. I'll host. I kind of like hosting, to be honest with you. If you don't mind, I'll just.
No, I like
Do you prefer?
hosting as
Do you
well.
prefer me to host?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I prefer
good.
you hosting. I like
All
it.
right.
I get
great.
to sit back and
He just has a good time. He just sits back and has a good time.
He's hanging back. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What is this? 81.
yep,
Okay.
right there in the
Close.
thing.
I'm wearing 83. I was like, oh, we're close.
2 weeks, Moose. Bring it.
I'll wear it again. I
All
might
right.
have to wear this all week. Wear a jersey.
Totally should. All right, let's start this jazz. 3, 2, 1.